What's up, motherfoxers? It's time to rebuild the calipers. It's not so bad. There's just one little spot that's just a son of a bitch. Alright, so when I looked up how to rebuild these calipers, because they screw in, so they're kind of a pain. It's not too bad. There's one thing you do that's really, really shitty. And I'm not about to show you how to do any of this. I'll tell you and explain to you what I'm doing, but about a year ago I think I looked this up and there was like one video on the internet. But then the Fox Chamber, I love Jim's video. It gave me more confidence into doing this. The hardest thing to do on that thing is getting the snap ring and the spring that's holding everything down in there. And it's really hard to film. I did get all the parts for the rest of this 5-lug swap. I did some work off camera. I'll show you what I did here. So here you go. I had to, because this is a Fox rear end, to get the SN95 brake hoses, I had to drill and tap each side here, even with the locator holes. Same thing with that. The hole is right here, but I could not bend this in a way, as you see I tried, but I could not bend this in a way to make it go straight up, and you got this tight turn here. So I just drilled a new hole and put it in there, and everything's nice and secure now. Interesting, these were flipped. I don't know why. These clips were flipped. I never took them off, so I don't know if somebody flipped those or what, but I've pulled them off and flipped them around that way, the way they should be. Here are the culprits. We got to screw these off. One thing I'm going to do differently that I saw Jim doing, Jim took a pair of vice grips and put them in here and tried to turn it. His looked a little more robust than what we got, but what I do have is a big mother effing channel locks up on the wall. So we're going to go ahead and do that. I already busted one of them loose. It's probably this one, I think. I don't know. But it made easy work of it. I mean, I know in the video, Jim seemed to have been struggling a little bit, but that was pretty darn easy when I did it. So anyway, let me get it all set up. All right, here's the kits. These things aren't cheap anymore, man. These together were 30 bucks. And then it's missing a seal, I think. Just like Jim said in his, and when I say seal, rubber seal, because there's an actual seal right in here with a spring, and it goes in this shaft right here. Yeah, there we go. All right, I think we got her. Oh yeah, oh this is pretty damn clean. And we got fluid everywhere. As clean as I'll get out, but look at the side of the cylinder there. It don't look too bad down in there. I'll have to get a light, but this is the part that's going to be the hardest, is right here. There's a snap ring in there, and this whole cage, I don't know if you can see that, this whole cage is it's spring loaded. Keeping on the theme of buying, $30 in parts and $80 in tools. Here's one of them that I had to get down in here and down in there is some 90-degree 2-inch snap ring pliers. And then for the spring to put this on, you got a set of hose needle nose, because you need this to get them on, because I've seen him do that. I've never taken these off. Maybe they'll work for that too. Or it'll just come flying off when I pull that screw. We could try that. Pull that screw off there and come flying off. Hit me in the balls or something. Well, I didn't get the other spring on camera, so let's see if I can do it. This is a different way now. I got used to the other way of doing it, but I was able to squawk this out with these. And you just, I can, there we go. Just like that. There you go. All Alright guys, after inspecting this stuff, the cylinders, these things are amazingly clean. They just got a little bit of goop on the sides of them here. The O-ring that doesn't come in the kit is inside here, okay? There's nothing to clean out of these, so I'm not even going to take this apart. There's no reason to. Unfortunately, this is the easy one. The hard one is here. And these cylinders got a little bit of goop in there, but they're not too bad. But the O-ring that I got to replace is at the bottom of this little shaft here. Get the snap ring pliers in there and get those out of there. That's what we're going to do here. I don't know how this is going to go. There's the snap ring. Boom. Everything should just come out of there. There's this spring in the washer. And then this thing should just pull out. There we go. And then this thing's got a little on it right there that goes in the divot that's in there. We should be, oh, I gotta take this one. I gotta take this bolt off here. Okay, because then you gotta take the shaft out. Oh yeah. We gotta get that pin out of there. He's stuck in some grease. Oh, there he goes. All right, here we are. There's a little pin. That out. And this looks nice and neat and clean. And then there's the other little, ooh, that one. Ooh, that's so, okay. So this was the wet one, I think. And this seal's blown. Look at that. It is blown. So that's what was leaking. I don't know if you can see it right there. It's just ripped. That's what's the problem with that one. But this grease looks freaking fresh. All of that to get that stupid piece of rubber off there. So I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take this one apart as well. Then I'm going to start cleaning these up, get all the holes and stuff plugged, and then I'm going to paint these just to make it a lot easier. As you can see, I go ahead and painted, I started painting red on there and it just didn't look very good. So I went and I got this self-etching primer sitting on a shelf because that was bare metal. Let it eat into it, you know, chemically. So this is probably not rated for the temperatures that these things will be. But let's see what happens. We're gonna throw some red on here, man. Like I said, it looked really dark. Oh, there we go. That's better. It was darker than that. That's a lot better. These are darker than the fronts. Nothing I can do about it. Not trying to win awards. The old power stops. We're gonna mock these up. I'm gonna take this stuff off when I get these calipers done. I'll put them on, and then we're gonna take this off because I just don't want that weight on there. There's no reason to have that weight. I'm not even filling up the differential till it's on the car. It's just the least amount of weight we can have on the car without having things bolted to it, the better, you know, because this other stuff is kind of a tedious kind of shit. We could put this stuff on if we wanted to on the car, but we're just going to leave this on. But we're going to take the brackets and everything off just so there's not so much weight. I painted these yesterday, and I came out here, and they're still kind of tacky a little bit. Not too bad, but I'm going to let them bake in the sun for a little bit. I even painted the stupid springs. Why? I have no idea. Well, it is a week later, and I decided just to let these things sit for a week so they could cure up pretty good. They feel good now. They feel real good now. I think that was a good idea, just to let them sit for a week. And I just put them on there to let them, you know, get in the air. Oh, look at this. We got a bird. He found his way out. It's like he came in the window we got open there. He was like, oh, what the hell's going on? Now I got to take them off here and we'll start putting the cylinders in. So, conveniently, this table's got these grooves in it so you can put these apparatuses on it. Well, it's going to work out great for me for doing this. Because I got to put this seal in first. And then I was looking at it. It doesn't go all the way in. But when we do the cylinder, I think it's going to stay there pretty good, man. How's that looking there? It's not perfect, but whatever. It's kind of hard to see in there when we got to put all this stuff in there, so And this stuff's going to end up going like this, I believe. Yeah, and then this goes up in here when it goes down in there, and this goes on here, and this goes on there, and this goes on there, and this goes on here, and you got to push this spring down and clip this with these in there. So that's basically what I got to do. So the first thing I got to do is we got to put this this seal. It actually is a seal. I believe it has a spring in it for that shaft that you got to put in there for the emergency brake. All right, so this is just a seal. I may put some silicone around this, not a lot, just it is like a seal because it does have a spring in there because of that shaft. Let me take this to the vise to do this. This might be a little awkward when I'm trying to push on this and this is moving everywhere. Might not be that bad, but let me do that just to be safe. So most definitely that was a little weird going in. just not just straightforward. I had to take a punch and just kind of tap around where it needed to go. So but let's see, make sure I got the right side. This is the right hand and this is right hand. I believe that one's kind of wore out there. What do I do with the other ones right here? Oh, that's definitely left hand. So that goes with the one over here. This is right hand. So this thing right here, see this thing? That little divot's got to go in there, but you put it in this way with that. You want to use like silicone grease on this. I got some dielectric grease. I don't have a whole bunch of it. And that little seal, get it under this little loop there, and it sets in just like that. I don't know if you can see in there. There's the grease pile there. This is the bolt that has the like flange there for the spring. I'm gonna go ahead and just run that down in there to keep this thing from hopefully moving around a little bit. Now I thought about this. I may have to make something up here in the vise to put this in because this is just gonna wobble around too much, especially with this thing on here. So let me see what I can rig up here. All right, this is the best angle I can get you guys without being in the way. Sorry for the noise, I got a power washer going on outside. When I put this in here, that emergency brake shaft was in the way for me clamping this, but I tilted it and I got it in there pretty good. It's tilted right to where I can see it with the light shining right inside. It could be a more perfect angle for me anyway. Let me see if I can't get you in here for a quick view. That's straight up looking at me, man. That's cool. I'll set you to the side here and you can watch and see how long this takes me just to do one. If it gets to be too long, I may be editing. It's an almost guarantee I'm gonna edit this shit. Okay, we gotta get an O-ring on here, so let's get a little bit of this grease on there. There you go. Gotta goop this guy up. So you can put that little dowel in there. Got quite a bit of grease in there, I guess. And then gotta push that in. I felt it just go boom in there. Okay, now you gotta take this guy, and then there's this divot here that goes down, and it's pointing right this way. Oop. Well, that was smart. Holy crap. That dropped right in. Wow. Thank you. That washer on there, that spring, and then these two things. Of course, guys, we have to have an issue. I don't know what's going on here, but the way that you take and compress this spring, all right, is you got to center this on that shaft that I put in there with a 7/16 socket. Goes through here, right? Problem is, this 17-inch or 7/16 quarter-inch socket will not go inside the spring. Everybody else used one of those. This is a Pittsburgh. It's not like it's, you know, fantastic. I don't understand. I can't go 3/8 either. If I go 3/8, I can get it through the spring, right? but it's only going so far down on that shaft. So that's not going to work. And then you're supposed to take another socket and put it over this and stick it down on there, and take another bigger socket, put it over this, and then clamp the whole thing together and then snap the snap ring in. Problem is, this socket fits this. It's the only one that fits it, and you put that in there and you can't see shit. I don't know. So this is what I've resorted to. I did find a little 7/16 socket that would go down through the middle of that thing, so we can get another socket on top of it. Of course, it's not around it, but it's on top of the spring, or that little coupler thing itself, that sleeve, and it's pushing it down. Now, the tough part about doing it this way is you can't tell where those little ridges are. I think it's down because I don't see this going down anymore. So I think it's pushing on the whole caliper itself. So I think we're in the hole. I got the snap ring. It's taped up here. That way I can put the pliers in it and lower it down and try to get it in. All right, guys. When I started out doing this, I anticipated failure. And maybe that's where I failed. So I wasn't positive and I screwed up. So I tell you when I screw up shit. And I did. You know that retainer, the little thing with the little feet on it that retains the spring? I put that in the press, and as I was pressing it down, the socket went crooked. As soon as it did that, I straightened it out, because you got to try to fight it in to get it into the hole centered, you know, so it'll go into that hole. And the socket was going straight down, and I was watching the socket moving, because that's what you want to watch, because you don't want to, you know, go down too far. And as I did that, it was going down straight, and all of a sudden the socket stopped, and I'm like, okay, what's going on? So I take it all apart. Damage was done, man. The two little feet on two of those things caught and bent up, and they said once you bend those things, you're never going to get back. And I tried. I can get it bend it to get it in the hole, but it shows a little resistance getting in there. And if I bend it so the spring don't, you know, get caught inside there, because it's supposed to move smoothly, it goes back and forth. One way it'll go in the hole, the other way the spring will move freely, but not both. So I fucked it up, but I anticipated that when I say that. Yeah, right here. I got a bracket down here. I'm just gonna test fit them on. I just want to get this done, man. I'm not gonna quit on that. I'll revisit it later at another point, because I still want to get them fixed, but because they're Ford, you know, original Fords. I got these off eBay. They were the cheaper ones on these, so everything looks just as it should. But I'm gonna test it. But what I'm not gonna do is I'm not gonna paint these right now, because I want to get them on the car, get them working, and then once I know they're working, I'll take them off and paint them. I think that'd probably be a good idea. And the one thing that I need for the car right now are rear tires. That's going to be expensive. So that may be a little bit before I get to those. Those ones are expensive, no matter what they are. I mean, I think I'm looking at about $500 to $600 for a cheap set on there, on the rears. Because I got front spaghetti tires. They're fine for now. 18-inch, 10.5. I'm fighting with what I should get as far as width. The Horror's got 275s. I think that's might be where I go. I am 385s, 285s, 305s. Probably not. Anyway, guys, failure has reached its head upon me. For now. Later.